There you go, Thomas Tuchel coming out, fronting it up and just, basically saying, hopefully we can get it back into normal ways. Because before this little blip, Gabby, I think you would have said really that things are looking rosy in the league. They're going into the Champions League to play Porto. They're on this brilliant run and you'd really back them. Is there a chance that this will affect their confidence?
No, I don't think so. I just think it's a bit of a wake-up call for the team. Maybe the manager as well, that he's not really conceding many goals and to concede 5. Maybe a wake-up call of maybe don't rest some of your better players in defence. Maybe start your best team, even though it's West Brom, because you're not guaranteed 3 points in the Premier League.
Maybe that's it, Jamie, isn't it? You've got to respect every game in the Premier League.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, West Brom are a decent side. They've got some top players, so if you're not at it and you're not sort of completely 100% in the game, then you'll get beat. And West Brom played very well. I mean, the sending off kills them, right? I mean, it changes the game. But West Brom to go and put them to the sword is fantastic.
They stuck it on them as well, didn't they? West Brom. They didn't sit back.
Maybe
Chelsea thought. Chelsea probably thought, you know what, West Brom will sit back. We'll have time on the ball, but straight away they're at them, going through it, and deserved win.
It makes you think though, like if they just did that.
I know.
If you can be them, if you can put in a performance like that and win games 5-2 against Chelsea, even though they went a man down, you still got to put the ball in the back of the net. Come on, like, you could have given yourself so much more of a better chance.
You could ask the gaffer at 9:30, can't you, Jamie?
You can.
Big Sam.
Say that's Big Sam. If they'd have brought Big Sam in earlier.
I think he would agree. No, but I think he would agree though, right? He would say, that would be if they were more consistent. The performances are there. You've seen it, just not enough.
Yeah. Okay, going to run another story by you. This is a different one. Also about Chelsea. Antonio Rudiger ejected from Chelsea's training session on Sunday after being involved in a bust-up with teammate Kepa Arrizabalaga. So, as first reported, is in the Daily Telegraph. Apparently, tempers are flaring at Cobham. It's the day after the 5-2 defeat. These two players both not in the starting lineup. The Germany defender was sent to the changing rooms after a late tackle on Kepa, causing some pushing and shoving between the pair, but later apologised to his teammate. Jamie said earlier on, this is quite normal. Things like this happen. Gabby, is it normal? Are you involved in stuff like this?
Twice a week. It's normal. Like, especially every Sunday, like we said before, like when players aren't in the starting lineup on a Saturday, normally you train on a Sunday and no one's happy. No one's happy to be in on the Sunday start. No one's happy that they're not playing. And sometimes players are going to be angry, pushing each other, shoving each other, and it happens a lot.
Were you ever sent home?
I was sent in from training. Yeah, a couple of bad tackles, as you do.
Get in.
What happens? You go in, do you have to sit on a certain chair?
You feel like the naughty kid, outside the headmaster's office, waiting for the gaffer to come in.
Do you have to apologise when he comes in?
Yeah, you have to apologise. I didn't know. I didn't know.
You didn't?
But tempers do, go in the air. I remember Leonardo Bacuna and Kieran Richardson turn around in training on a Sunday and they were swinging it out. I mean, no one connected. It was 0-0. But then, after it finished, Roy Keane was like, because he was assistant manager then, Roy Keane, he was like,
I loved it.
Well, you both need boxing lessons for starter. No one connected. We call that a ball draw. And honestly, it was hilarious, but it happened all the time. And after it's happened, after training, it's forgotten. But to get that leaked, Chelsea must be thinking, who's leaking things?
That's worse, I think, is the leak in the camp. That's what you don't need.
Where could these links come from?
Players, agents.
You speak to your mate, you speak to an agent, say, it kicked off today, Rudiger's had that. And, these people speak all the time. They want to get, favours in for, future things that might happen or go on. And, there might be a time when they need to keep someone out of the paper.
Didn't you have a little bit in your...
Whoa.
With a little bit of fighting in training, Jamie?
I got slapped by Stefan Dalmat once, just slapped me in the face at a reserve team.
Yeah. You were young, weren't you?
I was only a young kid and he just come up and just
did you say anything?
I just said, if you don't want to be here, off your pop. And he just got up and slapped me in the face. It was unbelievable. But I had one with Brownie once at Portsmouth. He 2-footed me. Brownie was always going around in training. He was, he put his foot in and I ended up having a bit of a Barney with him. But I played with him on the Saturday, and you just get on with it. It's just part and parcel of football, right? You're men. It's high pressurised situations. You're going to get into scraps. But, as a team, once you're off the off the training ground, it's forgotten.
Forgotten, isn't it?
I think we kind of like hearing about it and talking about it because they are teams and they put on a united front. And in a way, you kind of, I suppose the timing of the story as well, it's come out after they've been hammered 5-2. So it's almost open season on Chelsea, isn't it? It's like,
of course. But I don't think that the Rudiger one has got anything to do with the game. You know, I think
No.
I don't think I don't think they'd be arguing about that.
it's more when something is more newsworthy.
Of course.
So things are certainly.
We saw with Newcastle, didn't we? Newcastle going through a bad run of results, then something happens with Richie and the manager, which happens all the time in football clubs. And like, you know what I mean, that makes a story. So I think there's nothing in it. Maybe Rudiger and Kepa were shaking hands right after the incident.
I'd like to know if they're not though. Let's find them. Let's get another exclusive.
Gabby knows this as well, and he said it. When you have to train on a Sunday and you've not played and you want to be playing, Kepa's not happy. He's not playing right. He's been totally, thrown out of the side. Really, the worst thing you want to, you're going out there training with 5 or 6 of yous and some kids and all that, and it's your head goes. Sometimes there's a split moment in a session, and you just lose your head.
Yeah, I think even before the session, you're like, you know what, one person, you dare today.
Yeah, you come
near me. You come near me.
You always used to kick Jack Grealish, didn't you?
Yeah, you know what? I was the wind-up player, especially during my last season. I used to play centre-back in Old v Young.
Yeah, because you run out of legs.
Yeah, that's it.
I
I played centre-back in training. We used to play Old v Young the day before a game. I used to play centre-back, and like Jack was young, wasn't he? Coming through. And I always knew how to wind him up, so he'd be running with the ball, and I'd literally like shoulder barge him onto the floor. He'd go rolling, he'd be like swearing, and I'd be just like turned round, walking away, laughing my head off. Because I know there's nothing in it, but like I just love winding players up on a training pitch.
So you could say he's got you to thank because now he gets fouled so often and he doesn't boil over.
But it's funny though,
Thanks to you,
but it's
isn't
funny
it?
though because Steve Bruce was like, Gabby, stop it. I just couldn't help it. I was like, you got a game tomorrow, but I just couldn't help it, like winding up players.